the show a little by surprise here today. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we're talking to beauty queens who say they can get any man they want. That even though underneath the facade of these pretty women lurks a man in drag. Confused? Well, you're not alone. I guess I'm a little confused too here. So let's get to you guys, girls. What do you want me to call you, girls or guys?
Whichever you're more comfortable with, but when we're in drag, we prefer she.
Okay. So you say that you can get any guy you want. How do you mean straight guys?
I've never met a straight man in my life. That means that most men are, like we said, we feel that most women take their beauty for granted. Every woman could be just flawless if she wanted to be. But we obsess with being beautiful, being feminine, walking good, doing the makeup good, and men are attracted to that. And they come on to us.
You mean so-called straight men come on to you too? Well,
I only date straight men.
You only date straight men? Do they know that you're...
It's only fair to let them know. You know, usually I meet them on my turf, you know, when we're in a club or whatever, and they come out to see the female impersonators.
So what's their reaction when you say, oh, wait a minute, first let me ask this, at what point do you say, hey, I got something to tell you?
Well, before we get completely naked, I would guess.
And the reaction has been?
The reaction is generally very good. A lot of them don't care.
Really?
You would be surprised.
It varies. Now, like, I was at work one night, and...
Go on.
Okay, I was at work one night, and so I met this guy, and I just assumed that, you know, because he saw me on stage in a gay bar, that he knew what the situation was.
Right.
Well, we started seeing each other, and we had gone out for a couple of weeks, so finally one night it turned into an intimate situation. Well, I had never bothered to discuss the situation being what it was, because I assumed he knew, and as we began to get intimate, that is when he found out and freaked, flipped out, and ran out yelling. Just
really?
But, I mean, you know, that's not typical. I normally, you know, will not do that. But just under the circumstances of how we met, I just assumed, which I shouldn't have.
I'm looking at your arms. Even your arms look like woman's arms. How did you get that happening?
I think I was just born wrong. I pretty much live this. This is pretty much me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, however you see me, unless you make the mistake of knocking on the door at 7 in the morning. But,
do you look as bad as some of us do?
Worse, probably.
Curlers?
Worse. But, you know, so it's a little different for me. I mean, this is what I've always known. This is how it's always been. When I was young, I never had the little girlfriends. I always had the little boyfriends that I had crushes on and all that. So, I mean, this is me, and this is just how my body has developed.
Okay, from the audience now.
These guys that you are dealing with, they are not straight. They are gay. And I think it is totally wrong that you are saying that it's okay to wait till the last minute to tell them. That is wrong. You should tell them before anything deeper happens.
I agree with you, and I do that. I would never mislead someone, and it's just like Brittany said before. Not only do I have enough respect for myself, but I have enough respect for that other person. And just like everyone in this audience, I don't expect you to agree with what I do or how I live, but it's me, and I respect your life, so I expect you to respect mine. You don't have to agree with it, but just respect it, and I would never put someone in that situation without telling them, and then them making the decision to
We don't
proceed
want you to get
from
the wrong
there.
idea. We don't try to deceive anybody.
Yeah, that was the other thing, because I think a lot of people are like, are you tricking, like, our husbands?
Right.
No. They know the deal straight up.
Sometimes your husbands are tricking you.
Sometimes, woo!
Yeah.
She said sometimes your husbands are tricking you.
I have a question about the voice.
Okay. Question about your voices.
I mean, I know myself and the people sitting near me, like, when you start to speak, you know, like something seems like it's going on around here. And I mean, would your voice, like, in a sense, maybe, it may not give you away, but, like, would people wonder?
We keep a supply of helium balloons in the back. And
No.
No, I mean, you know, I don't try to pretend. I don't try to do anything different. I mean, this is how I always talk. You either like it or you don't. I mean, you know, if you cannot accept me as a person and what's on the inside, then, you know, that's a problem that you'll have to get up and deal with tomorrow, not me, because I'll go home and still be as happy as I am.
I mean, no offense to Ray, but you would have to be like Ray Charles not to know. You know, and that's no offense. It's no way.
But it's got to be really...
Sit
down.
You know,
Rolonda,
yeah.
with regard to that question about our voices,
Yeah.
I think that men men in general are highly driven by what they see visually. And
That's true.
I think it's pretty much like I've spoken to guys before, and outside of club situations, say like on the club. As a matter of fact, it happened to me on the way to drop off a video at Blockbuster Video, and you know I ran in and I threw it in because I was like, oh God, I'm late for a show. So I ran back to my car, and this guy, you know, it's like I immediately, you know, I just sat in the car, and before I just looked up, and there he was tapping on my window, and I was like, hi, how are you? and it was just, he didn't care what the voice sounded like. He was more enthused, or he was
Looking at that's
about what I
right.
looked
Well, let me tell you, you know, I think all throughout America there are people who feel different, whether it's their culture, their sexuality, whether it's, I don't know, it could be anything. And there's a feeling that really hurts when you feel different and people are pointing to you and they don't accept you. How has that woven into your life? You know, as you tell your life story, that's got to be a tough side.
It's personally made me a much stronger person. I'm very fortunate. I come from a very large family with a strong religious background, and they've been very supportive. And, you know, society has a problem of taking what they're not familiar with and grouping it together, just as one race. You know, they say everyone is of this color, so they're all alike. That's not true. Just because you may consider me to be gay, whatever, I mean, I do not represent the entire subculture that is in that community. And people should take time and stop and look at people as an individual and accept their differences and be happy in those differences, because that's what makes the world what it is and what's so different. If we were all the same, I mean, what's the need of getting out of bed in the morning? Someone else can do it for you.
Well, each of these ladies has somebody who cares about them. They've all brought the men that they are either now dating or have dated in the past. Audience, would you like to meet the men behind these women? Come on out, guys. Here's Paul, Jason, and Eric. Hey, guys. Whoa. All right, all right, all right. When we come back, we're going to hear more from the men who say that they've fallen in love with these queens of beauty. We'll be right back.